People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in each and every time. Now today, Manchester City and Arsenal should be playing each other, but in light of the coronavirus, we've postponed the game, and the game that was postponed already has been postponed more. First and foremost, my sympathy goes out to anyone, whose health is at risk. If it is at risk, I don't want to speculate. We'll read the statement. Second of all, my heart obviously goes to travelling fans. As you lot know, it's Wednesday, slap bang middle of a week and work day. It's Manchester at 7:30. I'm sure there's many local Manchester City fans that obviously have kids, have families, have obligations they want to fill. And as football fans, we find a way supporting our team to make it work. In this case, sympathy for Arsenal fans, whether they're beginning their travels, already travelled up there, because you'd imagine some man will drive, some man will do up the train. Certain people will probably go up there before and get a hotel and sort themselves out. So it's another financial L down the drain. Obviously, people got to probably book coaches, time off work, all of these sort of things. Obviously, all of this is irrelevant when it comes to health, because first and foremost, health is wealth, but it's great sympathy. And it was announced in the middle of the night. I have to wonder, Arsenal are a club that doesn't make snap decisions, rightly so. I have to wonder how long they were contemplating actually, doing this match, not this match not going ahead, because it's not, I can guarantee it's not been a snap decision. We've probably consulted with everyone, obviously not just Arsenal Football Club, but a number of football clubs and organisations are more or less taking the lead from the government. And I must admit, over here in England, I'd say we do have the typical British response to this, in that it's clearly a mad thing, it's mad, but it's almost like, sure, you're seeing, well, I saw, hand sanitizer $5.99 the other day. People are really taking advantage of supply and demand. Of course, where you see a bit of panic, if you can say that, with buying up toiletries and lines at supermarkets. But we've got a typical British, I'd say, mentality to this, and like, oh, yeah, it's Corona, When you're seeing what's happening in Italy, not just in football being shut down, but more or less society, you're hearing that a couple Champions League games are going to be played behind closed doors, and the French League have suspended football, I believe, or in talks to. Definitely La Liga has for the next 2 game weeks. So it's something that all teams are going to have to be briefed on, brief each other on, liaise with each other. Like you could imagine, rivalries aside, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, top 6, all talking about different ways to combat this. How did you do your thing? It's a touchy one. But in relation to the statement from Arsenal people, this is copied and pasted. Our Premier League match with Manchester City on Wednesday night has been postponed, following yesterday's news that Olympiacos owner Angelinos Marankis, forgive me for mispronunciation, has contracted, let's just call it Corona, because it's COVID-19. We have been taking medical advice and tracing any individuals who had what the guidelines define as close contact with him at the game 13 days ago. As a result of this exercise, we identified that a number of players met the Olympiacos owner immediately following the game. The medical advice we have received puts the risk of them developing corona at an extremely low risk. COVID-19 really threw me off there. It keeps calling it that. However, we are following the government's strict guidelines, which recommend that anybody coming into close contact with someone with the virus should self-isolate for 14 days from the last time they had contact. As a result, the players are unavailable for tonight's game against City, and the Premier League has decided the game should be postponed. The players will remain at their home until the 14-day period expires. 4 Arsenal staff who were sitting close to Mr. Maricanas during the game will also remain at home until 14 days are complete. So like I said, man, we didn't make this decision lightly. The Premier League, City and Arsenal, they have to have known this was going on for a while. Obviously, with the developing rates of Corona and whatnot, we must have considered, the owner was there, blah, blah, blah. First and foremost, you've got to protect people's health, and you've got to take what you can. I don't want to speculate if anyone at Arsenal has Corona and things, but if they've come into contact, obviously it makes sense to self-isolate. You can see how an organisation like Arsenal, with the amount of players, forget players for a sec, just staff at all levels, both at the club, at the training ground, on a match day, and people collaborating at various levels, you can see yourself how quickly this could develop if people do have corona. Again, people will speculate. Let's just deal with the facts. It's very much a case of prevention is better than cure. Well, you know, not in the owner's case, but it is what it is. Obviously, fans were missing a game of football. It's another game that keeps being postponed. It's another game in hand for Arsenal. Will we try to play it next week? I don't know what we're trying to do, because obviously you've got Manchester City's Champions League second tie or display against Real Madrid to come up as well, and it is annoying, but at the end of the day, health is wealth. Health comes first, and it is what it is. It was announced in the middle of the night, so if you're over here in England, you're waking up to the news relatively. So it is what it is, man. It's a disappointing thing, but health is wealth. For Arsenal, if the game still, if no other developments happen both on our side and society in the Premier League, our next game will be obviously against Brighton on Saturday. Attention switches firmly to that. If you want to be a bit cynical, we've got a bit more time to prepare for Manchester City and analyse them a bit more and give ourselves a better chance of winning. On that note though, people, Deluded, thank you for watching and rocking. Yes, disappointing news, but health is wealth. Health comes first. On that note, people, Deluded, I'm out. In fact, I'm not out because it's completely irrelevant from this, but you've seen coming on Twitter this morning as well, Arsenal are interested in signing Miguel Almiron. Apparently he has interest from Inter Milan as well as us. Not really feeling that one there, but we'll see what happens with that one. On that note, people, Deluded, I'm out for real this time. Thank you for watching and them things there.